gonna try out something new for me today, though not the most original idea overall, even for the Ninjago community. But I love talking about Ninjago sets, and I thought it would be fun to make a tier list of every single Ninjago Dragon set ever. I went through Brick Set, and I grabbed a picture of every single set, including Polybags and Juniors, which contained a dragon, cropped out the dragon, and we are going to rank them all. Now, like I said, I did include Juniors and Polybags here. I did not include the Dragon Master Flyer Packs, because those weren't really dragons, they just had wings. So we're going to start off with 2011 dragons here. And I want to start by ranking the Ice Dragon, because this is kind of the default dragon for me. I think this might have been my first ever Ninjago set, actually. I remember seeing this a lot of places when it first came out. I think it was a pretty popular set. I even remember in an old Jonathan Fisk Worldview Everlasting videos, this was always in the background. And I really liked this set at the time, but it does have some issues. The wings have a tendency to break, especially those spikes fall off pretty easily, and overall they just don't look the greatest. Dragon wings in Ninjago didn't get better until later on. Not that this style is always bad with brick built wings and no cloth or plasticky pieces there. It's a smaller dragon. I don't want to take price into consideration too much here, because sometimes they come in larger sets, and I really want to consider the dragon build on its own. You can have a good dragon for any size. The legs on this one aren't the best and aren't the most posable. I also don't like how the older dragons always had the Clitorian Thornax launcher in their mouth. Not a big fan of the old heads either. And another issue with these, because of the rubbery material the old heads are made off of, they get loose after a while. And just considering all of that, but with a bit of nostalgia still, like, this doesn't look like a bad set, something you'd be ashamed to show. I'm going to hesitantly give it a C tier. Maybe that's giving it too much. I'm going to put it there. I feel it deserves that. I should also mention I don't own every single dragon, though I do own a good deal of them. There are things with owning a set you find out about it that you wouldn't see from just pictures. And I have comments from my personal experience to put in it, then I will note that as well. It's like these other three I do not own. I'm just going off of pictures here. We have the Earth Dragon, which looks the furthest from its counterpart in the show. However, I do like the look of the Earth Dragon. I feel it's one of the most solid of those first year dragons. It doesn't have any wings. It's more of a dinosaur than a dragon overall. So I think it's better than the Ice Dragon, though I, of course, did not purchase this one. Almost feeling like we gotta move the Ice Dragon down to C tier, or D tier, because this might be a C tier dragon. Some of these are gonna have to be adjusted. Like, there's no way around that. Because I don't feel this is a B tier dragon. Yeah, we're gonna move this to C tier. It's a bit above the Ice Dragon, at least, but maybe they're both C tier. Same with the Fire Dragon. I did not own this one, but I feel it's better than the Ice Dragon just for the size, as a bit more posability. Ice Dragon had some cooler color and transparent pieces as well, so it's about equal in the end. And same with the Lightning Dragon. Honestly, I don't have too many more comments on it. You know, all of these a very similar build. The Lightning Dragon probably has the most out of all of them, and I do actually really like the colors in the Lightning Dragon, though. You don't see that lighter blue used a lot these days. In 2012, though, there's only one dragon released, and it is by far one of my least favorite in all of Ninjago. Image cropped horribly, wow. But it is the original Ultra Dragon from, is it the Epic Dragon Battle set? I feel like that might have been the name, but now I don't have it in front of me and I'm forgetting. But this one is clearly D tier. Like, it's not like something you'd be ashamed of, but this is not great. Like, the part where Lloyd sits is weird and bulky and just doesn't look quite right. Overall, the body has no flow to it. It has weird gaps and proportions everywhere. I'm just not a fan of this dragon. Then we move forward to the 2013 dragon, Lloyd's Golden Dragon, or just the Golden Dragon. Now, this is one, again, I have some nostalgia for. This is the only set I got that year, actually. I wasn't a fan of most of the other Final Battle sets. It's certainly not a bad set, though it has not aged the best. The wings still have that issue of just not looking great. But it is a big part of Ninjago lore, and it's really hard to discount that. It's at least C tier. Like, this is not a bad dragon. But is it better going up to B? I don't think it goes up to B tier. It's going in C tier. Now we have the Ninjago Mech Dragon. Again, this one dropped horribly. Now, this is one I don't have, but I have wanted to get. It's one I've appreciated more as time goes on. I like that it has a brick built head. I really like the colors. It's a better version of the Ultra Dragon. I feel like the build has some very similar elements in it. I'm going to put it on B tier. Now, this next dragon is one that came in the final flight of the Destiny Bounty, just a ghost dragon. It doesn't have a ton of significance to it. I really do not like the arm build for this one, though, and overall the proportions just seem clunky. This one is going in D tier, though maybe a bit better than the Ultra. Now, here's one I really like. This is one of the best dragons, I think, actually, is Master Wu's dragon. I think it does the best of the brick-built wings out of any on this list. I love the sculpt for the head. Just gotta decide if it's S tier or A tier. It's a hard pick. I really can't think of anything wrong with it, so I think that's going in S tier. Going back to Turn of Elements because I forgot this one. We have the Titanium Dragon. I also have a lot of nostalgia for this one. Brick built head, which I really like, though it has some spindly elements to it. So this one is going on B tier. A little bit better than the Ninjago Mech Dragon, I think, just because it's a more refined build. And we also have Moro's Dragon. Now this one is definitely an S tier dragon. There's no question about it. This is the first one to use the fabric wings. The colors are great. It has a great body sculpt. Actually just got this one the last year. I missed out on it originally, but everything about it is just great. It's right there alongside the Wu Dragon. Also got this Polybag Dragon from the Ghost era, and it's alright for what it is. It's called the Crawler Dragon. And again, I'm not gonna think just because something is smaller and has less pieces, it's automatically one of the worst dragons. I actually think this is better than those two in the D tier. Now we've got the Micro Moro Dragon, which is a Lego store build. It was on Brickset, so I decided to include it here anyways. I really don't like this one because it's not minifigure scale at all. And yeah, it is maybe unfair to be placing this in this list, but it is an official Ninjago set. Also, for being a Moro Dragon, the colors, of course, are all wrong. Not like a build I'm ashamed of, though, so it's going in D. Now, from 2016 Skybound, we've got Cole's Dragon. This is one I actually picked up recently as well. It's not bad for a small set. The wings are pretty awful, though. And I think that's going to put it down into D tier. Just because there's really no good reason. Though I do like the small dragons. Probably one of the higher up D tier dragons. Now here's one I don't have, but I do like, Lloyd's NRG Dragon. This one has some really cool wings. It's a bit generic, but I really like how it all comes out. It's a really solid dragon, A tier. And also from Skybound, we've got Jay's Elemental Dragon here. Now, this one, again, it's really solid, but something about it has never sat quite right with me. I don't own it, though I do plan on picking it up eventually. All the colors are good. It does some unique stuff. The head sculpt is good, but it feels boring somehow. Because of that, I'm actually going to put it down into B tier. Another polybag next, we've got Kai's Mini Dragon. And I actually really like this polybag. I think it's a solid B, actually. And I know it doesn't have a bunch of articulation. Doesn't have much going for it at all, but I like it. So it's going in B. Then we have the Combo Dragon. Again, one I have got fairly recently. Really not my favorite. Like, it's not bad, but it just doesn't stand out at all. It's a low B tier dragon. We have one dragon from the Lego Ninjago movie, and it was, of course, the Green Ninja Mech Dragon. This is a good one. This goes up there in S tier. It's a really great set, one I have no issues with. And we also have the polybag version, which again isn't technically minifigure scale, but I feel like this could actually be used as a minifigure scale, like small dragon. So I actually like this one. It can go and see. And going into 2018, we've got another polybag, the Dragon Hunter polybag dragon. Actually, I'm putting this one in A tier because I really like that small baby dragon build. I've had this one on my desk for a while. I really enjoy this build, so I just think it's like a perfect polybag sized dragon. And next up, we've got the dragon from the Dragon Pit set. It's an Earth Dragon. Don't believe there is another name for it here. I'm not a huge fan of this one, though. Honestly, it's going into C tier just because I don't like those wings at all, and it just is not an interesting build. Firstborn is an easy S tier. It's one of my favorite dragons, if not my favorite dragon. The pictures don't do it justice, but it has a great body sculpt, a great head sculpt. The wings are really awesome. That's just one of the best Ninjago dragons. Stormbringer is one I've warmed up to over time, but I never did get the set. I'm usually not as big a fan of dragons without wings, even though you can see the Lloyd Mech Dragon up there that doesn't have wings. I remember I had a really bad first impression of this as well when we first saw pictures. It was like a boost compatible set or something, and I'm not sure whatever happened to that. But I don't know. This could be D tier. Now we've got some Ninjago Legacy sets, starting with a Polybag Fireflight, which honestly seems like a legacy of the other Kai's Dragon here, but it is much worse in my opinion. Just looks less comprehensible. The colors aren't as good. I don't know. I don't know why I like that dragon in the previous Sakai's Fire Dragon Polybag so much, but I really don't like this one much at all. This is a D tier. Now we've got the Legacy Golden Dragon set, which is inferior to the original. It's smaller, but that's not the only reason. It is harder to pose because of the way the mixel joints work. I find that there's less friction, it falls over easier. The feet are pretty bad as well. However, it's not like a D tier set. I think it's just a very low C tier. Maybe because of that we bumped the Golden Dragon up to B tier. And then we have the Legacy Ultra Dragon. Now, this is a really great dragon set. The body is so much better. It really flows, looks like a complete creature. Posability is a bit hard. I'm actually looking over it right now. It's been sitting on top of my desktop for a while. I really like it, though 4-headed dragons aren't my absolute favorite. I'm going to give it a high A tier ranking, just because I don't think it has that extra factor that makes it a must-have like the S tier dragons. But I think it deserves high A tier, certainly. If the wings were more posable, then it would definitely be S tier. And the last of the 2019 dragons, we have the Ice Emperor Dragon. This is one I really like, but I did not get because I don't like the set that it comes in. I think it is a solid A tier dragon, just based on what I've seen. I really like the wings and the color, and it's one that I would like to pick up if I ever get the opportunity. 2020, we have the Prime Empire Dragon. This is one I really like, though posability is a bit lacking. It is a B tier dragon, I'd say. Right around a Ninja Mech Dragon. Jay's Mech Dragon, on the other hand, is a very easy A, not the most exciting, but it has a lot going for it, and it's a really cool set to pick up. Very different type of dragon. Then we've got the Legacy 4+ Kai's Fire Dragon. Actually don't think this is awful at all for a 4+ set. It has a unique head mold, and it uses those Velociraptor legs. I mean, it's not great by any means. It's certainly a D tier set, but it's better than some other ones. In fact, I like it better than the original Ultra Dragon. Firstborn is an A tier dragon. I really like the aesthetic of this one. Got a lot of cool working with the green, black, and white all together. Some cool features. The wings are posable. Interestingly, this is one that really didn't need those fabric wings and actually might go against it. Maybe if they were like green to show like the magic that it's using to fly instead of the black, it would have worked better. They could have just made some bony wings though. Probably would have looked as good, but I can see issues with contrast at that point. Either way, A tier. Wu's Battle Dragon, or Chompy. This one I like a lot about it, but it has a lot of issues as well. For one, the leg builds are horribly loose and it's very hard to stand, so immediately gets dropped from A tier because of that. The wings have issues. I don't really like how they're connected. Those studs in the top really pop out. I do really like the colors, so it's going to stay on B tier here, right around the combo dragon. And for 2021, we have the Fire Dragon Legacy set. This is one I wasn't sure of when I picked up. It is really great. It has the best wings out of any dragon, using the fabric pieces instead of the more vinyl-y plastic, as well as being able to fold them up really well. It has more of a wyvern type feel to it than even the other dragons that are wyverns. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Either way, this is an A tier dragon. I really like it, and it's up there with the NRG Dragon and the Jay's Mech Dragon. Jungle Dragon, another one from last year. I like it for the colors. I really don't like the extra like wing plumage things on it though, and it just can't quite make it to A tier for me, but it's up there. It's a good solid B tier dragon. Also in 2021, this one's gonna have some bias because though the build is not the best, I am grateful that we have an Overlord Dragon set finally. Just because of that, it gets some points, and it's going right up there in A tier. Water Dragon is one I have not been able to build just yet, but I really do like it. It is certainly an A tier dragon, and I would say it is right up there with Griefbringer and the NRG Green Dragon. Oh, 2016. This is one I forgot about because the Ninjago Junior sets are not listed with the others when they switched over to 4+ on Brick Set. We've got this J Dragon from the Lost Temple Junior set. And obviously Junior's not expecting too much. This is going to be in D tier, but I do like the printed head on it, and it's not the worst overall. Now we get to 2022, and immediately the Evo Dragons go in F tier. If anyone listened to the podcast, I know I'm not a big fan of the 2022 sets overall. I think these are just really bad sets. I like the other Juniors Dragons better than these just because, I don't know, I find them more pleasing to look at, and just something about the blockiness, the wings, the color choices. Well, the color choices aren't even bad. I don't know. I just don't like these. They're a disappointment, and certainly some of the worst Ninjago sets, in my opinion. Last one, we have Lloyd's Legendary Dragon. This is certainly better than the Evo Dragons, but I still find it kind of boring overall. But I wasn't going to take price into account, and I might not get it just because of that price. But because of everything else, I'm going to give it a C tier, right alongside Stormbringer. Maybe it's a bit better. I do like the bulk that it has, and it has a more unique color scheme. Overall, I am pretty happy with this tier list. Yeah, those 4 up there are definitely my favorite dragons. With the Ultra Dragon, it almost makes it up there for me. I'm tempted to move it up to S tier, and you know what? I'm going to move it up to S tier. I think it deserves it. It can go up there with my top 5 Ninjago Dragons there. Everything else, yeah, A tier. All of these are solid. I don't even own every single one of these on the A tier, but I hope to in this next year if all goes well. B tier are solid, fun sets, but not the most memorable, not something that I always feel a need to display. C tier, usually they have some issues where they're not sets I'm going to display currently in my collection. Usually they're sets I put into storage or feel have some issue with. Now, Stormbringer could go up if I get that and really like the set, and I am going to try and get that set eventually because I just think it deserves a fair chance. But for now, it goes in C tier just because for all those years, something about it just made me not want to get it. E tier, most of these are very skippable sets. The Cold Dragon, I personally like a lot, but I see so many objective issues with those wings that I just would not feel right putting it any higher. And F tier, exclusively for those Evo Dragons. Maybe I'm bitter, I don't know. We will see if I do any more of these tier lists in the future. This is a fun thing to do. I always love talking about Ninjago sets. There's many other categories to rank in Ninjago, so We will see what the future holds. Be sure to leave a like, comment. I'm going to leave a link to this template I made in the description below if you'd like to share your own tier list and your own thoughts about what the best and the worst Ninjago dragons are. Thank you for watching.